What's up? This is the real Dill again with another video. This video is about the grandmothers and the grandfathers in the community. You know, our grandparents is the most precious asset in the community. Not only are they grandparents, but they're elders. You know, you have the very young, and you have the very old, and you have what you call that in between. But those two is the pillars of society, because the unborn and the children are innocent, and they can be shaped and molded to be the best that they can be. Then you got your elders that's been there and done that at the twilight of their careers or whatever. But that's what I want to talk about, you know, is the grandparents here in the community. You know, we all have children, and we all want what's best for the kids. But when we can't do for our kids, the grandparents always take up the slack. When it comes to daycare, some of us can't afford daycare, but there's always a grandparent, man, that's always at home, retired, you know, and bring them kids over here. You know what I'm saying? Then you got some of us, we end up taking that path of drugs and alcohol, and we can't take care of our kids. That's where the grandparents come in. You know, so grandparents in this country is very, very underrated. You know, if it wasn't for the grandparents, the children would really have no one. I mean, how many young people, man, that's have been to college, or, you know, your athletes and celebrities, you know, your doctors and lawyers that always say if it wasn't for my grandparents, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. You dig? Because a grandparent is not only, you know, that counselor of advice and wisdom, but a grandparent has that patience. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm at the twilight of my career. You know, and I got more patience than I've ever had. Unfortunately, I just didn't have no children, you know what I'm saying? You know, but there's nothing I would rather do than to spend time, you know, with the little ones, man. You know, bouncing them on my knee. You know what I'm saying? And we just sometimes take it for granted, you know, that about with the grandparents. And a lot of grandparents right now, man, is struggling to be recognized, you know, as, you know, guardians. You know, because it's a lot of grandparents out here, man, that's having custody battles with their own children. You know what I'm saying? You know, having to fight the state. But nowadays, it's coming to the point now how important that the grandparents is out here. You know, because the grandparents out here is doing a whole lot, you know, far as raising these kids out here. You know, I've seen it. I see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? I've got a lot of friends, a lot of lady friends and dudes, man, that they didn't raise their kids, and now they raising the grandkids. So my message is, you know, for you young people, man, and I'm going to go back to it again. You know, the elders, man, is the most important thing in the community right now. You know, because when you can't take care of your kids, guess who's there to pick up the slack? Grandma and grandpa. You know what I'm saying? And it hurts my heart, you know, when I see, you know, these young thugs out here, man, you know, that's catching these murder cases and stuff like that, and they living with their grandparents, you know, because their parents is on the same page as they is, probably in the penitentiary, you know, or whatever. And that's another thing. When we go to the penitentiary, you know, and stuff like that, man, you know, who do you trust with your children? The grandparents. You know, so the grandparents here in this country, man, is really underrated. You know, and we really need to really cherish and celebrate, you know, and tell how much, you know, that we love our grandparents. You know, I just want to let everybody know too that, you know, I'm gonna change, you know, direction, you know, of my format and my platform. You know, sure, I'm gonna talk about white supremacy, but you know, I just would like to really address, you know, the black community. You know, because I'm black, you black, you know, I'm in the hood, some of you not. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, of course, you know, white supremacy is there. You know, America was built on white supremacy, but I just feel like it's just so much more that's going on in the black community that need to be addressed by elders like me. You dig what I'm saying? You know, don't get it twisted though. You know, white supremacy, man, I've always got my eye on them 24/7, you know. But let's get back to, you know, the grandparents. You know, I just have so much respect for, you know, for my mother. You know, that woman upstairs, you know, she's 75 years old, you know, and she don't have nothing else to do but, you know, to raise the grandkids. You know what I'm saying? Some of the grandparents, man, is doing more for the kids than the parents are. You know, and that's real right there. So, I want to close with this. You know, all of you grandparents out here, hey, you got all of my support. You got all my respect. You know, because you've already raised your children. Now you raising some more. You know what I'm saying? It just don't stop. You know, you just don't stop being a parent. You know, first you're a parent, then you end up a grandparent, then you end up a great-grandparent. So, you know, it don't never stop, man. It's a beautiful thing, the cycle of life. You dig? You know, but you young people, hey, man, you know, just respect these elders out here and, you know, just show them how much you appreciate them, you know, and, you know, you try to be the best that you can be out here, you dig? So, with that, you know, I'm your man. The real deal out of the city of Gary, Indiana. And I don't need to say it, but I'm going to say it. G.I., baby. You know, talk to you again. Peace.